Oscar Bevis, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Kid Galahad joins me. How are we, mate?
I'm good, my man. I'm good. Got Coogan's hand here. I've got to have the main man next to me. I said, I'm only doing this interview if Coogan's next to me and he holds my hand, and he's done it. And
Is there a reason that he has to do that?
main man, isn't he? He is the main man. When IFL said you want to do an interview, I said, listen, is Coogan available? They say no. And I said, all right, after Coogan, it has to be Ulmo IFL. If he's not available, I'm not doing it. And somehow...
Well, we're fucked, didn't we?
Yeah, like the new boy, they've sent me on the new boy now, haven't they?
He's not the new boy, though.
Huh? I call him new boy because
No, you ain't the new boy.
how long you been doing it for?
I've been doing it for about 2 years now, but I said to you, you are probably the last British boxer for me to meet current. I've literally met everyone other than you, so lucky you.
I'm low key. I don't really do much interviews. Do I, Coogan?
Low key just walks around the garden with no top on. I mean, if I look like that, I would do the same.
Listen, got one, yeah, enjoying the sun. They're looking after us, feeding us. Got llamas here. We've got everything's going off here, innit? All we need is just a little pool to jump in. Then I would have been in my element.
A little pool party. You and Jazza Dickens, I don't know, like, it just feels like this, on a rematch, obviously the first fight was 8 years ago, but it just feels like this fight, although the purse bids are only, like 4 months ago, it just feels like it's too long in the making now.
Yeah, there was, we were supposed to fight on the Canelo, Billy Joe on the card, but obviously the visa situation, everything else couldn't happen. And look, people are forgetting we're still in the pandemic, so it's hard, to get these fights going. And, Eddie pulled it through. MTK did win the purse, but Eddie Hearn's putting it on. And, hats off to him, he's putting on a big stage, and I just can't wait, August the 7th, and in you.
Can you take anything from a fight that happened 8 years ago? It's nearly a decade, it's a long time. It feels like a long time ago as well.
It does, the thing is I don't, let alone, 8 years ago, I don't take anything off that, let alone that even my last fight, I don't ever look back and think, oh yeah, this and that. I don't. I'm just focused on what I got to do. I need to improve, and that's it. That's what I do. On to the next one, and all my focus on is Jazza Dickens, 7th of August, making sure I do a job on them.
How do you rate Jazza's progression? Because after the Regan Dow fight, told me he was in a really dark place, and then he's gone on a run, blitzing his way through the MTK Golden Contract Tournament. He's got a nice roll of momentum at the moment, actually.
Yeah, he has. He's boxed. Some decent kids, but I just believe, he's got better. 100%. For me to say he hasn't is very ignorant, And I just believe, him getting better, he's got to, stepped up a level where I feel like I've stepped 2 or 3 levels up. And on 7th of August, you're going to see the difference. When we get in there, I'm not no Ryan Welch or Lee Wood or anyone else, no disrespect to them fighters, but it's a different level.
Yeah, they are actually very different fighters, almost complete opposites to yourself. Like they're very come forward, all action and less sort of boxing, if you know what I mean.
You got to remember they are switch hitters as well, aren't they? So they're not that much different. But I just believe I am, a level above them. No disrespect to them, they're great fighters and everything else. And listen, 7th of August, you're going to see.
And with it being your second world title shot as well, I don't know, there obviously is a different feeling. How much of a different feeling would you say it is to before Warrington?
It's just different, it's completely different. Listen, I know I've got to go in there and, do a job on this kid, no stones unturned, I live the life. Look at me, I'm in good shape. That
is definitely the body of someone who lives the life.
This is mine in this fight is the fight of this fight camp, trust me. I'm going to say the first fight was a very exciting fight, we both put it on the line. We're both 22 years old. A lot was on the line, and I come out on top. But listen, this is very similar in a way, and I believe I will come out on top again, and I will come out in a better fashion than the first one. It'll be a very exciting fight while it lasts.
It is such a treat for the fans. I mean, Eddie was just saying, world title fight, and all English world title fight as well. It's brilliant, isn't it?
It is. Listen. The first fight was a very, very good fight, just for the British title. That should have been, realistically, I remember people saying to me that was a world class, that should have been for a world title. And I didn't ever think of it like, you know what I mean? And then now when you think about it, we're both fighting for the world title, for the vacant world title, and it's just mad, innit? And listen, everything's on the line. I just believe, I've got everything, to beat him. And it's hard to explain. I just know, I've got his number, and I believe he knows that as well.
I literally just can't wait. Like, and you say about that first fight for the British, surely that is one of the highest quality British title fights ever.
Yeah, 100%. People were mad, when we took that fight because we more or less got next to nothing for that fight. But, it was one of them fights that had to take you on to the next level. And listen, it was a good fight then. It's going to be even better now. I've done over 50, 60 rounds with Jazza. My last fight, I actually sparred Jazza. Yeah. And, most of my fights, when I fight a Southpaw, I actually sparred Jazza Dickens.
Picking this back up with Kid Galahad, just had the press conference. I said to you, I was doing an interview, so I didn't see all of it. But you going head to head when he's wearing like a three-piece suit and you look like you're going to Ocean Beach. It's quite funny, actually.
Listen, it's absolutely piping out here. I don't care. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not sweating my bollocks off out in this heat. It's absolutely roasting. I just feel sorry for him because it'd be like a sauna suit that on him.
As we was walking over here, you said there's no point trying to pretend or make something. You know each other. Just got up there and I suppose had a chat. Nothing really much to say.
Listen, when we get in there, it's all this is going to go out the window. We're not friends. He knows that, and I know that. When we get in there, we're going to try and kill each other, and that's it. But why would we? We've talked to each other so how many times and done so many rounds and everything else. Why would we pretend? Oh yeah, with this, with that. When we get in that ring, all that goes out the window. We're going to take each other's heads off, and that's it.
Right. I did want to talk about this because, like I said, you haven't been on the channel for a while. Obviously, your rival, Josh Warrington, shock KO loss to Maurizio Lara. Just your take on that night, kid?
It is, just had a bad day in the office, and that's how it goes, you know what I mean? It's obviously needs to go back to the drawing board, see where he went wrong, and hopefully, you can get, obviously on about him in a rematch in September sometime. Hopefully he can get that win, but, if, I don't understand, even if he beats him, where's he going to get him? Where's he going to go from there? I think it's more to do with his pride than anything else, but, why not go for, for one of the other world champions? They'd even fight him even more now. If he goes and beats Laura, then they might not fight him.
No, true, that is a good point. I mean, after that fight, I think a lot of people, because you put a tweet out, that nice, well-respected tweet, but I think a lot of people just going, "Cool, I can't wait for Kid Galahad's reaction," as if we was expecting you to just come online and just bombard Josh completely after his loss.
All this is not personal. We're just all fighters trying to make ends meet, and we all want to, be the best. We all want to fight and make as much money as we can and win as many titles as we can. This is not personal. I don't hate Josh Warrington or I hate Jazz. I don't hate no one. You know what I mean? It's just we're all fighters, and that's what we do. So I was a bit upset that he lost because I'd rather him lose to me than lose to some foreigner. Do you know what I mean? But it is what it is, and that's how it goes. And hopefully, he can pick himself back up and get this win.
Yeah, because when I was interviewing him on Fight Week, I think he said, I said to him, I was like, let's try and keep it a Barry-free zone. Let's just try. He was fighting that week. You and Jazza was in the works. Let's try and forget pretty much about you two. But you must understand why, especially for media, it's hard to forget you and Josh because of the back and forth and then the fight and everything surrounding it.
100%. Listen, there's a bit of friction there and everything else, but it's not really malicious. It's just competition in it. That's all it comes down to. That's all it is. Do you know what I mean? And hopefully he does get this win, and we could get a rematch. Somehow, he might not say he wants to have a rematch, but we could do down the line. But first of all, August the 7th, I'm fighting Jazza Dickens, who's a hell of a fighter, tough, strong. He's a very good boxer. He's very well rounded, and it's going to be a very tough night for me. And I know I've got to go in there, not just beat him, but I've got to absolutely rip it away from him.
And I suppose once you've got the belt, or if you get the belt, you have a 25% stake in claim as the best in the world. And I suppose from there, you want to go on and literally cement yourself as number one. This next year for Kid Galahad could be the best year of your life.
100%. Listen, I've been training all my life for this, and 7th of August, that's when it comes down to just me and Jazza Dickens, and I've got to go in there and do an absolute job on them. And no matter what it is, I'm not going to let this pass me by. Trust me, I'm going to go in there and do a job on him. I've got nothing respect for Jazza, but when we get in that ring, all that goes out the window.
Just finally, looking around now, is it weird to think that you're going to be fighting for a world title here? Like, we're just having a nice little media day, relaxed food, drinks. You're going to be fighting literally over there for a world title.
Yeah, but you know what's mad is I don't think like that. It's just weird because you might think like because you know then you're a civilian. You don't really. I don't as a fight. I don't care where the fight is, where you know who I'm fighting. I just know I've got to go in that ring and it's life and death for me and that's it. I don't care where it is, what it is. You know who's there and who's not there. It don't matter to me. A fight's a fight. I'm fighting for my life.
Do you not take a little bit though, the site, because life's about experiences. To say you have headlined here for a world title, do you not really take any interest in that at all? No?
To be honest with you, I don't. Even every fight that I've had, I've never sat back and you know I couldn't tell you who's at them fights and who's not because you know you're so you know I'm such in a you're so focused on what you've got to do. Everything else just everything's a blur.
All right, well, cannot wait for week 2 of Fight Camp. It is an absolute barnstormer.
This is gonna be the fight of Fight Camp, 100%. The first fight was an unbelievable fight. The second one is gonna be even more. Trust me.
I'll tell you what, Ben Granados is a banger, Boatsy Blotniks is a banger, the other two headliners. But I have to say, this one, week 2, this is a stand-up.
This is a very, very hard fight. This is a very 50-50 fight. He puts it all on the line, I'm going to put it all on the line. And the thing is, we both lived a life. And everyone knows that, you know. And when we get in there 7th of August, and the new kid Galahad, and that's what it is, you know, I'm going to make sure, you know, I don't, you know, leave it to the scorecards.
Right, well, thank you very much for speaking to IFL TV, and we will see you on Fight Week.
No worries, my man. God bless. Thank you for interviewing me, and make sure this is your first ever interview with me. We'll put this in the notepad, yeah?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's one. I was saying I wanted to tick people off. This is one in the notepad now.
This is the one of many. That's what you mean. Yeah.
What am I, the new ting?
Yeah, I call you the new ting. We've got Umar IFL, we've got Coogie Bear, and we've got the new ting. Who else is there? Anyone else?
We've got 2 more. We've got Andy and Razza.
The Scottish fella.
Yeah.
See, I know Razza. I've never heard of him. Oh, okay, the other guy. Yeah. So we've got the Scottish guy, the other guy, the new ting, Umar Coogie. Bloody hell.
Not a bad team, is it? It's not a bad team.
Good little team, innit? It's a good little team. It's very versatile, innit? Very versatile. Very. It's good. It's good.
This is like when you're trying to reach a word count for an essay and you just chat shit at the end. But yeah.
I just fucking hell. I was so
good bollocks. I'm going to put this online as well.
I was bad. You know me when I didn't even put nothing. You know, like on an essay, I didn't even put nothing, and I just left it. I didn't care, me. I didn't care at all. I just left it.
I can tell. I bet you was a right pain in the arse at school, weren't you?
I was. Sometimes I just sit back and I just think, why did I ever do that? I used to just do so much shit. I just couldn't believe, you know, like, I used to go to school and just, like, completely just, but how can I disturb this class? You know, take a stink bomb.
Thinking about it in advance.
Yeah, like, I'd plan what to do. Yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take stinker bombs to make sure when I'm in the exam, just let one off so everyone can smell it. And then everyone's getting into it. Oh, my God, I used to be bad like that. I don't know, but you know what? We're all pointless. I don't even know why I did it. I really didn't.
To be fair, you clearly didn't need school because you might be a little bit good at something else.
I was good something else. I just, you know, from that age, I always just thought, I'm going to put my eggs in this one basket. But you know, the thing was, I was bad before I met Brendan. I was really bad in school. And when I met Brendan, that was it. He says to me, I got kicked out of about 5 schools, primary and secondary. When I went to Hindhouse, he goes to me, listen, if you get kicked out of the school, I'm kicking you out of the gym. And that was the longest I've ever been in a school, 3 years. Well, 2.5.
That's mad. So if you would have got kicked out of school, Brendan would have kicked you out of the gym.
That's what he says to me. He goes, if you get kicked out of this school, I'm kicking you out of the gym. And I just thought, I can't, no matter what, I just couldn't. I thought, he said, train me in the morning, absolutely kill me. Make sure I had no energy in school. And then I used to just kind of be like mellowed because I was tired. Then I'd train back in the afternoon. But bloody hell, some of the things I used to do before that was mad.
Those were the days. So wait, just quickly, we've ended up just talking about something completely else here, but I'm enjoying this. So you said you put all your eggs in one basket. Would you literally sit there in school and think about boxing then?
Yeah, that was it. You know, when I met Brendan, the second I walked to that gym, I knew that was my calling. And I remember Brendan said, if you want to be a world champion, you've got to put everything into this. And I just thought, you know, that's it. No matter what I've got to do, I'm going to make sure I'm going to become a world champion. And, you know, I trained twice a day, every day, from the age of 12 to 18 years old. I was training with professionals. I was an amateur and I was training with professionals, Junior Witter, Johnny Nelson, you know, Kel Brook. And you know, August the 7th is going to all pay off.
Can I bring Dominic in just quickly?
Yeah, Mr. Dominic Ingle, the head coach.
We were talking about the fight and then we ended up talking about how naughty he was at school for some reason. And he said that Brendan said if he would have got kicked out of school, he'd have kicked him out of the gym.
Yeah, and,
so.
that actually motivated him to stay in school and behave himself. So I think he'd been around 4 or 5 different schools, and the last school he ended up in, which was our local school, is where he stayed, purely probably because he thought, I need to be here. You know, it's only 10 minutes from the gym. If I go to another school, I'll be travelling halfway across Sheffield, miss the training session. So I think that's why he behaved himself more than anything.
Dom, just quickly on this fight. Yeah, Ben Granados is a great headline fight. Buatsi Blotniks is. This is unbelievable, this one.
Yeah, I can remember at the time back in 2013 when they both fought. You know, it wasn't unprecedented at the time, but everybody was saying what a fight. You know, for 2 fighters so early in the career, both unbeaten, to be fighting each other at a British title, of what a cracking fight. And it was a cracking fight. I think people had Jazz as the slight favourite because he'd been on the GB team and done a lot more as an amateur, more than Barry. And I think he was quite confident, and he spoiled Galahad a few times. But, you know, the result at the end of it was that Galahad stopped him. And I knew somewhere down the line it was always going to come round again because, you know, I still think they're the best super bantams featherweights in Britain anyway. And probably obviously the world, because they're fighting each other again. And, you know, Jazz has been around the block. He's fought everybody and anybody. And, you know, he's got himself back into contention 8 years later in an IBF World title fight. So it's great for him.
It would be some story if this man to the right.
When it happens, August the 7th, and the new Galahad IBF champion of the world.